She had one rule, and it destroyed her life. Before you reject all the suitors that come your way, let me quickly tell you a story. This thing happened to someone I knew very well. Her name was Nelly, and she lived in a small village in Ogun State. Nelly was the most beautiful girl in 7 villages. Her skin was smooth like fresh palm oil, her eyes sparkled like stars, and her voice was sweeter than honey. Men came from far and wide just to catch a glimpse of her walking to the market. But Nelly had a problem. She was too proud, too selective. Every suitor who came to her father's compound left disappointed. "Papa, I don't like his teeth," she would say about one. "His hands are too rough," about another. "He's too short, too tall, too dark, too light." Her father, Baba Tund, was getting worried. At 25, most girls in their village were already married with children. But Nelly, she kept rejecting everyone. "My daughter," Baba Tund would plead, "you cannot continue like this. A good man is hard to find these days." "Papa, I know what I want," Nelly would reply, tossing her head proudly. "I won't settle for less." The whole village began to whisper. Some said she was cursed. Others believed she was waiting for a prince from the city. But Nelly didn't care about their gossip. She believed her standards were justified. Then came the dry season when everything changed. It was a Tuesday morning when Joy, her best friend, rushed to her house with news that would shake the entire village. "Nelly! Nelly!" Joy called out, breathing heavily. "You need to see this man." "Another suitor." Nelly rolled her eyes. "Joy, you know I'm not interested in." "No, no, no." Joy interrupted, her voice trembling with excitement and something else, fear. "This one is different. Very different." Nelly looked at her friend's face and saw something she had never seen before. Joy was shaking. "What do you mean different?" Nelly asked slowly. He came to the village this morning. The most handsome man I've ever seen in my life. Tall, well-dressed, with money that seems endless. He's been asking about you specifically." Nelly's heart skipped. Finally, someone worthy of her attention. "Where is he staying?" she asked, trying to sound casual. That's the strange part," Joy whispered, looking around nervously. "He appeared at the village square this morning, but nobody saw him arrive. No car, no motorcycle, nothing." "And Nelly?" Joy's voice dropped to almost a whisper. "What is it?" Nelly demanded. "The children who saw him first, they said something very strange. They said when he walked across the dusty ground, there were no footprints behind him." Nelly felt a chill run down her spine, but she forced herself to laugh. "Don't be ridiculous, Joy. Children always exaggerate." But deep down, something felt different about this. Something that would change everything she thought she knew about love, life, and the price of pride. The question was, would she finally meet her match, or had her match finally found her? The footprints revealed everything, but it was too late. 3 days later, Nelly finally met him. His name was Daniel, and Joy was right, he was the most handsome man she had ever seen. His skin was smooth, his smile was perfect, and when he spoke, his voice was like music. But most importantly, he had something no other suitor had ever offered her: complete devotion. "Nelly," he said, taking her hand gently, "I have traveled from very far just to meet you. I have heard about your beauty, your intelligence, your grace. I want to marry you." For the first time in her life, Nelly felt her heart racing for a man. "But you don't even know me," she protested weakly. "I know enough," Daniel replied, his eyes never leaving hers. "I know you're special. I know you deserve the best. And I know I can give you everything you've ever dreamed of." He wasn't lying. Daniel showered her with gifts, gold jewelry, expensive fabrics, perfumes from the city. He took her to the finest restaurants in nearby towns. He treated her like a queen. Within 2 months, they were engaged. The village was shocked. Nelly, who had rejected 50 suitors, was finally getting married. But some of the elders were troubled. "There's something not right about this man," old Mama Grace whispered to her friends. "Have you noticed he never eats with us? Never joins the men for palm wine. And his shadow," added Baba Samuel, "sometimes it doesn't match his body." But Nelly was too happy to listen to village gossip. She was finally getting the perfect man she had always dreamed of. The wedding was set for the next month. 2 weeks before the ceremony, Joy came to Nelly's house in the middle of the night, trembling with fear. "Nelly, you need to cancel this wedding," she said urgently. "Are you crazy? Why would I do that?" "I followed him tonight," Joy whispered. "After he left your house, I followed him to see where he goes. And he walked to the old cemetery behind the village. And then he just disappeared." "But Nelly, that's not the worst part." Nelly's blood ran cold. "What's the worst part?" "I checked the ground where he had been walking. There were no footprints. Not a single one. It's like he never touched the earth." Nelly wanted to dismiss her friend's fears, but something deep inside her had always felt strange about Daniel. The way he was always cold to touch. The way he never seemed to get tired. The way he knew things about her that she had never told him. "I'm going to find out the truth," Nelly decided. The next evening, she secretly followed Daniel when he left her house. Just as Joy had said, he walked straight to the cemetery. But this time, Nelly saw something that made her blood freeze. Daniel walked to a fresh grave, knelt down, and began to speak to it in a language she didn't recognize. Then, right before her eyes, he began to fade until he was completely gone. Nelly ran to the grave and read the inscription. "Daniel Obina. Died 6 months ago. Age 28. The man she was about to marry had been dead for 6 months. But the story doesn't end here. Because when Nelly turned to run back to the village, she found Daniel standing right behind her, his once handsome face now pale and terrifying. "You shouldn't have come here, Nelly," he said, his voice now hollow and cold. "Now you know too much." "Please," Nelly begged, "I won't tell anyone. I promise." Daniel shook his head sadly. "You rejected every living man who could have protected you. You chose pride over love. Now you belong to me forever." The next morning, the village woke up to find Nelly's room empty. Her bed was made, her clothes were still there, but she was gone. The only trace of her was a note on her pillow. "I have gone to be with my husband." They searched for days, but never found her. Some say if you visit the cemetery at midnight, you can still see Nelly walking among the graves, forever bound to the man with no footprints, paying the price for rejecting love when it was real. Pride and impossible standards can lead us to accept the wrong things when we're desperate. Sometimes the perfect person doesn't exist, and sometimes, when they seem too perfect, there's a reason why. The end.